Hello YouTube coin collectors and stackers. Went down the coin shop today and picked up some fun stuff. Before we get into it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate it, and thanks for watching. So what I pick up today, I went down to the local coin shop, and there was a new consignor who had come in and was consigning some new things in there, and really some interesting stuff. So we're just going to kind of jump into some of his stuff first. And the first two things are just some fairly common Barber Half Dollars, but this one's neat. It's 1894. The 1894, they minted 1.1 million or so, 1.15 million. It's a better date, but it's not an uncommon coin. It's one of the more common dates for the 1890s. But this one's actually pretty good. It's got full rims on it, as you can see. So I may get some of that cleaned up a little bit with a little acetone and just kind of clean it up. But we have a full rims coin here. It's definitely good. You may be even on the higher end of good. I don't know if it's very good. I'd love to hear your opinions, but it's kind of hard to tell with all the gunk on it. And then we have this 1915 Denver, also a very common coin. They did about 1.17 or so million of these guys, and very common, especially in the lower grades. You can see it's another one that has nice full rims. I always like, if I see Barbers like this with full rims, I typically buy them. It is uncommon in mint state and very scarce in gem. So this is a condition rarity type coin, the 1915 Barber. Next up, we have a whole bunch of piece dollars that this gentleman had brought in, and some common ones like this. It's a 1925 Philly, but it's a nice 1925 Philly. And this one was actually in the sort of the junk bin. It was in with like the $39 junk coins. And I just thought this was, to get this for, hair above melt, it's a really nice 20. It's common, but it's pretty nice to be in the junk bin. So I grabbed that and brought it home. It's got a new home here with me. We have another one that came in from this new consignor. Probably should have taken it out of this flip. But this is a 23S. He says MS63 plus. It's hard to see in the flip here. This is a very nice coin. It's got a good, nice original skin on it. The little slip that came with it said original, never dipped. So it looks like it's a very original coin, and I really like that. You can definitely see some hits on Liberty's face, but little in the field in front of her nose there. But overall, this is a pretty nice coin. I think it's a solid 63 coin, and the 23S is a little bit better date mint mark combo. Next up, we have this 1925. This one's got a couple of hits. You got a little hit on the cheek there, a little scratch across the face. But the price on this, look at the it's always this way, right? It even stunned me. I flipped it over, and you're like, look at the reverse. You have like this massive difference between the obverse and the reverse. We do have some reading, a reading hit above the eagle there, and another reading hit between E and pluribus. But otherwise, pretty clean coin. Definitely the obverse looks like it was on the losing end of an axe fight. So maybe this guy, he didn't write a grade on it, but it's probably like maybe a 62, I would say. Then we have this one. So if you watched any of my previous videos a couple weeks ago, this one's kind of hard to get into focus here. Let me see if I can get it into focus. There it is. There it goes. So this is a very interesting looking coin. It's got a very soft luster to it. And you see it's pretty clean. We got a hit on the neck, a couple hits on the cheek, but the fields are super clean on this. And this is a 27 Denver. The reverse is much nicer. And this is a pretty nice coin. So, 27 Denver is when you start to get up into the high AUs and low MSs, jump in price pretty substantially. And I don't generally see a lot of them out in the wild, and this is the second one I found in 2 weeks. And it really is a condition rarity as you start to get up in, to the higher MS levels on that guy as well. I also picked up some Franklins. We have a really original looking, oh, come on, focus. Really original looking 1953 coin. Definitely at the lower end of the MS realm, but you can see like it's never been messed with, never been dipped. It's got this really nice original skin on it here, particularly on the reverse, and it may even have full bell lines. I'll have to take a look at it a little more closely, but it's well struck as well. Common 63. I won't bore you guys with this one, but there's a 63. Yay, a 63. We don't see those all the time. But this one was kind of fun. It's a little cloudy, but there you can see it. So this is a really nice Cameo 62. Look at that. Obviously, you know, the fields and stuff aren't the greatest, but, you know, that's a really strong Cameo 62. And these get a little bit of a premium. The reverse doesn't have the Cameo quite as much, if at all. But the obverse is certainly Cameo, as far as, like, you know, the frosted device Cameo. I have to see if it's at, you know, like any proof, it's going to have some, you know, reflectiveness in the fields. And then the last Franklin I got was, man, my camera's really having trouble today. Was this 54? Got some reading hits below the date, above trust, some hits on the cheek. But again, this guy, you know, he's an old-time collector. Not quite full bell lines, but it's a nicely struck coin. You can see just the beautiful luster on this coin, the beautiful original skin on it. You know, and this gentleman probably is the original owner of this. I'm probably the second owner of that 54. After he got it from the bank in the 50s. What else do we have? Oh, this was an interesting pickup. Picked this up. Let me zoom out a hair on this. So this is where we have this interesting intersection between numismatics and philately. So that's coin collecting meets stamp collecting in plain English. And what's interesting about this particular one is, you know, you'll see these. This is a 1976 $2 bill. We have a stamp, 2-cent stamp with Jefferson over there at the right, and then we have that freedom, liberty depends on the freedom of the press with the printing press. And you'll see it's canceled. So this is, you know, considered like a first day cover if you're familiar with those. So this was canceled in 1976 when this came out. But and you'll see these. But what's interesting about this one is that both of the stamps are not from 1976. They're actually from the 1950s. So makes this one a little bit different and a little bit special as well. Also picked up a Lincoln cent I needed from my album. I could put a link to that video below where I talk about, you know, I'm putting together this nice sort of choice set of reds as far back as I can go. And they had a 41D over there. Otherwise not a very exciting Lincoln cent. This is a better one. This is a 31S. It's a nice 31S. It's definitely like an AU condition. And it's very chocolate brown, as you can see. They only minted 866,000 of these. So I think this is the lowest mintage other than like the 1909 SVDB. But everybody saved these in 1931. So these are very common, very, very common coins. So even in a nice AU condition like this, you know, this is maybe like, you know, 60 to 80 bucks. But still, nice coin. That'll find a place in my album as well, because I believe that will update the one that, or upgrade the one that I have. And I also picked up your standard kind of, your circulated 1970. Can anyone tell me if this is a 75 or a 76? Do you know how to do that? So this is the uncirculated 40% silver set, and the way that we know which year this came out is when you flip it over, and we see the big block letters of United States of America. That's how we know it's a 1975. So that's a Type 1 Ike is what that's called. So that nice silver set there. Also, I picked this up in a collection. You can start to see the target toning happening on that 74 proof Ike. But this is your brown Ike, called the brown Ike, because it came in this kind of, you know, only in the 1970s, right, where they have this kind of faux wood cardboard holder. But that's what it came in. And then we also had this 64 set, but it didn't come in the envelope, and it's not an accented hair or anything, but it was basically below melt, so I grabbed it. And lastly, I almost forgot, well, two more things, sorry. We have another kind of intersection between numismatics and philately, and this is a first day cover. First day of issue 1986, and we see the stamps that came out. It was this was canceled in Paris, and then we have the Statue of Liberty clad coin in there as well. And this was put out by Fleetwood, who was, you know, majorly responsible for things like first day covers for quite a long time. And last but certainly not least was my favorite pickup of the day, is this 1853 arrows with rays. So you see the rays above the eagle there. So 3.5 million of these were made, and it was after Congress had voted to reduce the amount of silver that was in the subsidiary coinage. So That's your half dollars, quarters, dimes, and half dimes. And to indicate that they did this, they had arrows put by the date. In 1853 and in 1853 only, and this was only minted in Philly and New Orleans, this is a Philly, you have the arrows above the eagle, and this makes this a one-year type coin. We had the arrows in 1854 and 1855, but no rays. So this is a one-year type coin. And while they're quite plentiful, actually, the prices are definitely artificially inflated for these, given, relative to their rarity, because this is a big target of type collectors. Every type collector wants this for their type set, and that's, I believe, your type 4 seated Liberty. That's all for today, guys. As always, I appreciate you watching, and hope you guys are all adding some cool stuff to your collection. See you again soon, and happy collecting.